Hello and welcome to TTV News with some latest events in TayNinhTV province. And now we come into details. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to contribute to the healthy development of the province real estate market, to minimize dispute, lawsuits, speculation, and to inflate real estate prices for illicit profits, the Department of Construction has requested the People's Committees of districts, towns, and cities to strengthen the inspection and review of real estate brokerage company to see projects for sale on social networking sites, gathering up a large number of people to organize brokerage, real estate trading, ensure compliance with the provisions of the law, and promptly handle, avoid fraud and untruthful information, affecting security and order in the locality.
Along with the inspection and supervision of real estate brokerage companies, district, towns, and cities inform people of participating in transactions, buying and selling projects of housing construction investment in urban areas, including projects with the transfer of land use rights in the form of subdivision of lots for sale of land for people to build houses, which have been approved by the Provincial People's Committee, recognized as the investor and construction agencies zone appraise, grant construction permits, take over works, and notify eligibility to put them into business according with the law on real estate business. In case of organizations, households, and individuals violate the provisions of the law on housing real estate business, the government's decree number 16 dated January 28, 2022, on penalties of administrative violations in construction investment activities, mining, processing, and trading in minerals, use-day building materials, production and trading in building materials, management of technical infrastructure works, real estate business, housing development, management and use of houses and offices will be administratively handled or transferred to competent authorities for handling in accordance with the law.
In order to synchronize the social insurance database with the National Population Database, the Social Insurance of TayNinhTV province proposed employers, units managing health insurance participants, and collection service organizations in TayNinhTV province to accelerate the addition of citizen identity card, citizen identification number, and installation of VSSID application. For data of participants whose results are correct with the National Population Database, TayNinhTV Provincial Social Insurance requires units to notify participants about the fact that personal information has been synchronized between the data managed by the Social Insurance Agency and the National Database on Population. Participants can use the citizen identity card for medical examination and treatment instead of health insurance card. For the data of participants whose authentication results do not match the National Population Database and the participant data that does not have a national identity card number, personal identification, citizen identification number, the unit coordinates with the social insurance and health insurance participants to confirm the information and send it to the social insurance agency through electronic transactions or through the public postal service so that it can update to the management software before October 31st, 2022. Social Insurance of TayNinhTV province also informs social insurance and health insurance participants to urgently install or install VSSID application, but lack of email address. Instructions to log in Vietnam Social Security's public service portal, check account information. If an email address is missing, let's update the Social Insurance Agency to complete the VSSID account information.
In the afternoon of October 5th, Mr. Phạm Hùng Thái, Standing Deputy Secretary of the Ninh Provincial Party Committee, head of the provincial delegation of the National Assembly, visited and congratulated the Ninh newspaper on the occasion of the 76th anniversary of the Ninh newspaper Traditional Day, October 5th, 1946, October 5th, 2022. On behalf of the provincial leaders, Mr. Phạm Hùng Thái acknowledged and appreciated the results that the Ninh newspaper has achieved in the past 76 years. He expressed hope that the agency will continue to innovate and develop more strongly, meeting the needs and trends of modern journalism, and excellently performing the assigned political tasks, deserving to be the organ of the party committee, government, and people of the province. On the occasion of the 76th anniversary of the Ninh newspaper Traditional Day, Mr. Phạm Hùng Thái wishes the staff, reporters, editors, and employees of the Ninh newspaper to be healthy, happy, and continue to promote the tradition of glory, intelligence, enthusiasm, fulfilling the noble mission of the party committee, the government, and people of the Ninh province who have trusted, building a professional, human, and modern journalism.
Dear audience, according to leader of the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, from now to the end of the year, the Agriculture and Rural Development sector will organize the verification and complete the dossier to submit it to the Provincial Appeals Committee, requesting the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development for appraising and recognizing TayNinhTV City and Tràng Tháo for completing the task of building new rural areas and district to meet new rural standards.
6 communes will be recognized as meeting new rural standards, including Tân Phú Commune, Tân Châu District, Lộc Ninh Commune, Dâm Châu District, Đồng Khởi and Trí Bình Communes, Châu Thành District, Long Giang Commune, Bến Cầu District, Thành Tây Commune, Tân Biên District. 8 communes will meet the advanced new rural standards. 2 communes meet the standards of modern new rural area, namely Thanh Điền Commune, Châu Thành District, and Bảo Trông Commune, Gò Dầu District. Along with the TayNinhTV Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, also organize evaluation and recognition of OCLP routers in 2022. It is expected that about 10 to 15 routers will be evaluated. The sector also strengthened inspection and supervision of the progress of the implementation of the National Target Program on New Rural Construction in the province, coordinates with the Department of Planning and Investment, the Department of Finance and related sectors to allocate central capital to implement the National Target Program on building new rural areas in 2022.
Four years of investment cooperation in 1 hectare of indigenous tree collection forest has ended between Yokohama Tire Vietnam Company Limited and the Management Board of Logos Samet National Park. With the conservation of the periphery of the population of 6 kinds of indigenous trees in the National Park Service Administration, the trees in the native woodlands have grown and developed well. According to Mr. Châu Văn Văn, Director of the Management Board of Logos Samet National Park, the program is meaningful and practical for business and production organizations in contributing to environmental protection and biodiversity conservation. The Management Board of Logos Samet National Park has made constant efforts with the goal of preserving and sustainably developing natural resources, and Logos Samet National Park to serve the socio-economic development strategy and environmental protection. The cooperation program on planting and collecting indigenous trees makes a great contribution to environmental protection, minimizing the negative impacts of the global climate change process and raising awareness of environmental protection, planting trees to create green lands for the earth. For years of implementation, the project has created a great influence in the local community, raising awareness and sense of responsibility of the community about environmental protection and conservation of biodiversity values.
Ladies and gentlemen, some residential areas in Phước Hòa Hamlet, Suối Đá, Cam Liêu Dùm Chầu district have been flooded since September 7. This day it continues to rain, making people more worried about flooding here. And now let's follow our correspondence report in the afternoon of October 4th.
On September 7, it rained heavily in Dùm Chầu district. Many areas around Baden Mountain received a large amount of rainwater flowing down from the mountain. Some areas in Phang and Suối Đá communes in Dùm Chầu district were flooded. Particularly, Suối Đá commune area was heavily flooded. Up to 180 households and about 2 hectares of vegetables were affected, in which Phước Hòa Hamlet was the most flooded. When the rainwater had just temporarily receded, the circulation of storm number 4 caused heavy flooding again in Phước Hòa Hamlet.
Recently, some areas in Phước Hòa Hamlet have always been in inundation. If the heavy rain lasted for 1 to 2 hours, the water in people's houses will rise about 10 to 20 centimeters, even 50 to 100 centimeters in some places, and 70 to 80 centimeters in the street.
The storm number 4 caused flooding. It flooded whenever it rained. My house was flooded. The furniture was also washed away. People in Phước Hòa Hamlet said that in previous years, this area was often flooded during the rainy season. The amount of rainwater that cannot be drained from the mountains will cause local flooding in a few days, and then the water will gradually recede into the drainage channels of the West Canal. However, recently the sewers of the drainage canal have not been dredged, along with the construction of a number of wells by the people, causing the water to have no way to drain. Meanwhile, Road 7H1 after construction is higher than the common route of residential areas, contributing to the cause of flooding. People live in inconvenience and worry about the risk of disease.
The locality has surveyed, and the commune has proposed to the district that firstly, the two sides of the sewers connected to the road 7H1 must be widened. Secondly, the sewers should be installed deeper because the two sides of the sewers are only 40 centimeters wide, 60 centimeters deep. The design is higher than the people's houses, so the water isn't completely drained. When it rains heavily, the water can't be fully drained. The water on the mountain falls down. On the other side, people made a road, so the sewer is blocked. Then the water can't be drained. I'm afraid that the water is bloated and contaminated with diseases. I hope that the government do it, and I will contribute so that the road is clean and no longer bloated.
Most of the people of the hamlet are ready to contribute to dealing with inundation with the plan of the state and the people working together. Suối Đá Commune Peace Committee also proposed that while waiting for the implementation of long-term solutions, they start a project to repair and redesign the drainage canal system for the commune. It requests the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development of the district as a solution to temporarily split the drainage lines through the fields leading to the drainage canal. In the immediate future, it can reduce flooding for people in Phước Hòa Hamlet.
That's all for today, TTV News. Thank you for watching and see you next time.